Russian President Vladimir Putin is holding out on helping Ukraine this morning. He's waiting until the country forms a new government before offering billions in bailout money. For 2 months, protesters have demanded Ukraine's president step down. Holly Williams is in the capital of Kiev, where demonstrators are being offered amnesty in return for their cooperation. Holly, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie and Nora. Ukraine's parliament voted last night to free arrested protesters if they leave the government buildings they've occupied in the next 15 days. But the protesters say they will not do that. And in the midst of this dangerous crisis, Ukraine's president has gone on sick leave, which could make it even more difficult to resolve. Ukraine's demonstrators are hunkered down and ready to defend themselves. They're sticking to their demands for the president's resignation and fresh elections. But now the government set a deadline for them to leave, many here fear this standoff could end violently. Arseny Yatsenyuk is a member of parliament and a protest leader. What will you do if the government sends the riot police back onto the square?
They did it a number of times. If the president decides to make another crackdown or to impose a martial law in case of emergency, this would be a disaster for my country.
The demonstrators have stayed out in the bitter cold because they believe their country's future hangs in the balance. These protests began peacefully back in November when Ukraine's government turned down a treaty with Europe in favour of $15 billion in financial aid from Russia. But after surviving decades of oppressive Soviet rule, many Ukrainians fear Moscow's influence and hope closer ties with Europe will bring greater freedom and democracy. Holly Williams from CBS News. Former world champion boxer Vitaly Klitschko is one of the protest leaders and told us a modern Ukraine needs to be part of the West. Why do you want to be close to Europe and move away from Russia?
We don't move away from Russia. We talk about to make these European standards, the European standards of life.
These protests and the government's response could decide whether Ukraine turns east or west. Ukraine's former president, Leonid Kravchuk, warned yesterday that this country could be on the brink of a civil war. Charlie and Nora.
Holly, thanks.